All right, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Sorry for the 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes break in transmission. Trying to sort out little things with internet here, but I think everything is good now. And thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into another episode of An Hour with the Manager. And today we'll be doing something a little bit different. I spoke with you guys on our previous podcast last week, Wednesday, where I shared with you guys the new improvements that will be happening at An Hour with the Manager. And I'm happy that we are all going to see that improvement and we'll also be a part of that improvement over time. So thank you very much once again for tuning in. And we're so happy to have you here today. And thank you very much once again. So I'm Ubong Matthew. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm Ubong Matthew by name. And like I said, I'll be here for as long as, hopefully. Today I have here with me Hazem Kassem, who will be sharing a lot of information with us today as regards to finance, as regards to advertisements, and he also share some personal conversation about his own life experience and how he has journeyed through all he has done to where he is right now, with his wealth of experience, and hopefully we'll be able to learn something out of this conversation. And please, while you join us, like I usually say, while you're joining us, do have your pen, do have your paper or something to jot down so that you can as well get access to the quality information that will be shared today on this podcast. And thank you very much once again. And it's good to be here again today. Welcome, Hazim, to the show. How are you doing?
Hi, Obong. I'm doing great. Hope you are doing the same well.
Yes, I am doing great too. And thank you very much for the audience. And lest I forget, Hazim has featured on one of our podcasts before. I think that was sometime last year in June. I think in May or June,
Yeah,
alongside yeah. And I know then we're still trying to find our feet, and we're still trying to do a whole lot of things just to get balance. But so far, connecting with Hazim has been a very, very wonderful thing. And I must say, I must say, throughout the journey of getting to where we are right now, and Hazim is also one of those people who has been able to let me know that okay, when you're doing finance, there is a better way to do it. When you're managing your organization, there's a better way to do it. And today we'll also learn some of those tips from Hazim, and let's see how we can continue to get proper information in terms of advertisement, in terms of finance, and personally in terms of our personal growth. Because in every business, at the forefront of every business, there's a human person, not a robot, not AI, not
yeah,
a machine. You
until
understand?
now.
Yeah, there's actually a human person. Yeah. Okay. So first, for us to just get up straight here, please, while you're joining us, do well to reshare this very podcast. Do well to reach out to anybody you want to reach out to. Do well to shout out, and let's see in the comment box where you're joining us from. Let's know that okay, we have people who are listening to us. If you're joining us from LinkedIn, on Twitter or Facebook, wherever you're joining us from, let's know we have people who are streaming on this conversation with us today. And thank you very much once again. Okay, so just to get straight to our conversation today, talking about finance and advertisements, people will be wondering, oh, why did you guys decide to talk about finance and advertisements today? But I think I'm going to first of all go straight to Hazim to ask him, when I came to you personally, saying, okay, hey, boss, that or we're looking at going into marketing industry, we're looking at talking about a few things in terms of marketing this month. But you decided to say, okay, no, I think that there's a better approach that we can make that work. Okay, as a chief financial officer, let's talk about the role of advertisements in finance. So why did you decide to settle on that very topic for us to have this very wonderful conversation, please?
Well, actually, before we jump to the details of the finance role in advertising business, we need to shed some light on the differences or the key differences between
Okay.
regular businesses like manufacturing or trading and advertising in the middle of services industry. Advertising, as I used to work with one of the biggest networks in the world, it's TBWA, and you see that the advertising business is very much based on the quality of the creative that you are
Okay.
delivering. And this is how you can price your services. So it's not like, typically our material pricing for the services you deliver, but actually the quality of the ideas you come up with And to have a culture that embraces such good ideas for business owners and for clients, it's not that easy. You have to have the right culture and enforce people's good spirit and environment. Having said that, having a culture that is more of friendly and not really rigid. And when you talk about finance, it's really static way of doing things, because simply you have reporting, you have accounting entries, you have dashboard to present to the management. So how to bridge the gap between you as a 1, 2, 3 formula of business understanding and business delivery to the I would say the creative part. It's you need to speak the language and have some time to understand what the advertising business or industry is delivering, and how to bridge the gap between finance, because it's a topic for the creative people that is really not attractive, I would say, not mentioning that it's a problematic. So when we come to finance, it's really very much have a very important and integral role in the advertising business, because they make sure the business is sustainable, and whatever agreement and engagement they have done through will result into the financial willingness or forecasted benefit. So the CFO roles is actually more into the commercial, not into the accounting and reporting only. So understanding risks as well, and knowing where the business is going, what risks are subject in this area, and whether in timing, in the relationship, etc. So the CFO has to understand that all and be the one who is the focal point, who is is I would say the guy who is helping the sailing of the ship. So without having this very important role in advertising business in particular, it's quite difficult to continue in the business. So sustainability is really one of the key factors CFOs always have to do.
Okay. So quickly, I want to ask. So let's take a little bit backwards now. Okay. So let's say when you started out in your journey, did you just move straight to finance and say, oh, okay, I want to be a finance person, or you had other plans that then dived you into settling down in finance?
Well, that's very old story, 20 years back or something.
Uh,
Well, actually, I myself am a math person. I like very much playing with numbers. I'm more into the engineering part, I would say. So if I would not choose finance, I would have chosen the engineering sector.
okay.
But generally, I like business and I like the life of the business. And whenever if you say business, anyone who's talking about business, he has to understand finance. It doesn't work
True.
other way around. If you are entrepreneur or CEO, you need to understand the language of the business, and the language of the business is the finance and accounting. So we need to
True.
understand and have to interpret the financial statements, etc. So for me, I would say jumping into the finance was, I would say, the, the person in any organization that makes sure that the company is sustainable. And if I would decide anytime in the future to do my own entrepreneurship journey,
Okay.
I should know finance. So I think my selection was based on my ambition to be business owner or entrepreneur or help businesses to grow. So this is what I would really like, and building a strategy and finance related to that is really really integral part. You cannot work without it.
Finance itself is vague itself. There was a time when I kind of reached out and I was like, okay, how was I going to understand the numbers? Because I'm looking back then in my university days, uh, I actually loved doing finance, but one of the things that made me switch back to doing agric, I studied agric animal science. I had to skip that. So I ran away from that in secondary school. That's in my high school days. I had to move further to say no. Let me do agri. I actually loved doing agri, even though things didn't turn out as it was. But in understanding those statements, what would you say to people who just want to understand finance for the sake of finance, not for the sake of advertisement or for the sake of actually doing business? What does it make any sense first to even understand finance for the sake of finance?
Yeah, definitely. Because if you are a normal individual person by yourself and you want to invest in any company and buy their stocks, you need to understand what their financial statements are telling you as a story. The financial statements themselves are presenting a story about their business, about the company that you want to invest in. If you
Okay.
as a person, and everyone in the whole universe, look at them, look, everyone now is if you search Google how many times how to make money on Google, how many you see millions of questions like that. So that means people are interested to understand and safeguard their own assets as well. So having understanding of finance, I would say, not even for business, it's for the own one's sake. It's for you to understand and not to be misled in sometimes. So if we all sell something at any point of time. My skill
Sure.
is
Sure.
I'm selling it. So I need to have the selling skills, but I need to understand what agreements financially this means for me. So knowing finance is just like learning
Okay.
alphabet, I would say.
Oh, okay. Thank you for throwing more light on that. So, okay, now maybe we'll have to just move a little bit into a conversation today. So, first, I want to ask, in terms of as being the chief financial officer for the past 20 years plus and still counting, what are those common challenges that you think, okay, as a business, people actually face that that oh, this is something that happens, like like a pattern, because definitely there's always a pattern that never changes, no matter how things changes, but there's something that will always be fixed. Either it's happening in a different way, but it's still that same thing, probably with a different name, right?
Mhm. Well, actually, I would say the biggest challenge is sometimes you see when you do development and doing a plan or something for your business, you always get challenges from people around you in different departments, like commitment on sales target, understanding this contract is not reflecting the profitability we need. So, but I take that all into under one headline, which is competence. People need to understand or learn things before they are presented to them. For example,
Okay.
if we take the advertising, for example, as an example, it was a challenging every time to let people understand that their time is actually costs for the company. So if they manage their time well and deliver the project on time, we will be able to take more projects. That means we can have higher margins, and we should not allocate different or much more than budgeted for a typical client. Otherwise, it will not be making profit. So the
Okay.
targeted profit will not be reflected. So people understanding those things when they see their dashboard, how they achieved, how things are going, they know now what the impact I'm doing on the financials of the company. Then they understand the reasons why, to understand what the finances are. So
Okay.
instead of coming to them and say, no, you cannot do that or that, it's difficult. It's always difficult if you're not explaining to people. So training and competence building always melts any ice between you and other departments. So I would say one word: people understanding of what you want to do.
Looking at numbers alone can be, just reading numbers in charts can be, I don't know, it can make someone, maybe I would say it's the fastest way to go to bed.
Right.
It's like reading a book you're tired of reading. When you just sit down, you're reading, you're just looking at numbers that you can't even explain. I'm telling you, man, because looking at financial data, I can tell you for sure that sometimes I just pass out on it, and I'm like, whoa, what am I really stressing my eyes for? Why not I just look for someone who's going to come, probably assist me on this? But still, like you said, it's something we need to learn, and we need to, as a business, as an entrepreneur, we need to just learn and then grasp up. So just to add up to today, so please, while you're listening to all we're saying, if you have any question, any contributions, any comments, please either send it to my DM or you can as well drop it in the comments box, and I'll be able to read them out here for Hazim to respond to us. Like I said today, this conversation is going to be very, very informative and interactive for everyone to engage and learn something from. So if you have any question as regards to finance, as regards to advertisement, please bring forth, and then let's see how Hazim can as well help us do justice to those questions, because we are here for you, and I don't think without you guys we're going to be here. So please, let's see how to make that work. All right, so back to our conversation. So in your own space now, in your own business, in Axel Finance, I know you run a company called Axel. So how do you guys actually implement proper advertisement for good financial growth, or probably to leverage as a point of success for your business growth?
You mean how do we help our clients, or how do we develop
No,
our?
personally for you as a business, in terms of advertisement, how does it work for you? Then your clients can then come in later.
What do we do for advertising? You mean?
Yes, yes. Like in your own
Advertising.
business. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
actually, normally in the consulting business, the ones we are in is mainly built around public relations and people connections, etc., and referrals, much more
Okay,
than doing advertisements specifically. For example, the one that you're running now is more into content delivery, so people understand what do you actually deliver, what can you say, and what can you deliver for them. So they need to understand and believe in what you are offering, especially, and this is typically for every consulting business, I believe. It's more of experience building with your clients, and as long as you are connecting and communicating regularly, so I think people will see that you can deliver value, and eventually they will engage with you to learn, and maybe next time they can engage with you for a question, maybe or a consultation, and then it grows from there. So you need to have your crowd, you need to build your public communications, and continue delivering content. And I think this is the only way, not the only way, one of the main areas that every consulting business need to take care of, in addition to the normal attending events and speaking on those events, and having you know um, communication channels for you as well as for the team to engage with the audience. And I think the advertising, the time that I worked with advertising was really beneficial, because it gave me the other side of the coin, for which is the consumer, how the customer or the client in our terms, how they think about providers, and how they what communication language they need to understand and hear from you. So this is where I think you can add value to them. So building relation, it's like planting relationship with your expected clients, then targeting a client and hunting for one. So it's quite different way of approach reaching out to clients. I hope I explained myself correctly, especially this advertising advice.
sorry, we're having a little bit of in and out with my internet today, but I'm good. And at least I was able to pick out something. We're talking about relationship building, and yes, I think even the business of podcast itself, it has to do with building network of people, and connecting with people, and you know going over your ways to if people you still didn't want to connect, you just need to connect with them so that you can as well grow the business and understand that okay, there are other things that needs to come in place. And thank you for sharing that so far. Yeah, thank you very much for that. All right, so I want to say, okay, maybe in your last, in let's say in your last venture with your clients. Now, was there ever a time where advertisement was a problem in terms of what you guys are doing as a business? Was there ever a time when
Well,
advertisement was a problem? Yeah.
before we go to that, when we talked about advertising business as it differs from other businesses, In terms of whenever the economic downturns happen, the first budget
Okay.
most of the clients cuts is the advertising spend. So this is a crucial risk management every CFO for advertising business have to take care of. So what can you do in order to make sure that whenever your company is facing such an issue, what tactics or what preparation before this happens you need to take? So advertising is really dynamic in its way of conducting the business. If you win one client, one big client, maybe you need to hire 30, 50 people, and if you
Okay.
lose the same size client, you have a problem. You have people that need to get their salaries. So maybe you have to get into immediate downsizing. So it's very much we normally do forecasting quarterly for every business, but for the advertising business you need to do it monthly. You need to be feeling your client the pulse. So my role, if I remember well, with the advertising company, is very much into the commercial role. For example, dealing with suppliers. This is a risk you are taking on behalf of your clients, because normally the advertising businesses, what they do is they spend on campaign as if they are the agent of the client. So they
Yeah.
agree on the POs, the purchasing for airing, for example, for TV ads or whatever. So
Okay.
they need the advertising business or the CFO need to make sure that those liabilities don't come back to the advertising company, but actually you are a mediator in the middle. So such risk you need to take care of. Also with the clients, when you agree with a client, you make sure that your relationship with the client is continuously. It has two sides of revenue. One is recurring, which is covering your costs, and one is per project. So you have your fixed costs is being covered, and what comes on top of it is actually your profit. So it's very much dynamic relation that you build with your client to make sure that you can sail continuously and manage all kind of risks. And if to talk about risks, when I used to be in the advertising company, um, we had the revolution in 2011 in Egypt, and during
Okay.
revolution we were not able to go to our offices. But as a CFO, you need to continue pay salaries. People have to get their salaries on
Wow.
bank account or even cash, whatever we can. And also, some of the clients have stopped their businesses, and or they don't know yet what happens. So surviving those challenges really make you stronger whenever something else compared to that happens. So it's very important that as a CFO, you have an eagle eye on every aspect around your business and in your business itself. So coming to risk management is one of the major areas that every CFO has to take care of in his business as advertising.
Please, Hazim, I just want to say this, okay? We're going to have a recorded session. Let me just say this to everyone. We're going to have a recorded session where we would have this conversation in depth because my internet is very very crappy today. It's not forthcoming. Okay, so we're going to have a recorded session. We're going to talk about this again, and we'll share the link to this conversation. We're going to upload it on our YouTube. So please, guys, I won't say let's keep up with it because right now it might still go off and come in again, and I'm going to be in and out, and I don't want us to have that kind of a conversation. Okay, so we would fix a date. Myself and Azim will have a conversation, and then we'll upload the conversation on YouTube, and we'll share it here on LinkedIn for you guys, and Twitter, and as well on Facebook for you guys to also follow up, and let's stream together because while I'm even talking, my internet is going back and forth. Okay, and please just do also subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be aware of when we drop the updates. And next week Wednesday we have a live webinar coming up, and on that live webinar, that's a space where you get to have an interactive session with our guests. Okay, and we'll be talking to Yuel Johan. So by tomorrow you're going to see the publication out. So please stay tuned with us as we'll be bringing you most of this conversation, and before then we'll see how we're going to work to solidify our internet so we don't have these break in issues again. But for now, Hazim, please, I know you have had lots of information to share with us today, but I don't want to hear half of it and then not hear half of it, so that we can relate and then have a better conversation. How is that?
Well, we can do it later. Yeah, I think you can have the time to fix your internet, and I'm ready. We can schedule something else. I don't know
Sure.
if live webinar would work better, but it's your game. You can
Now
advise what to do.
it's going to be recorded. We're going to have a recorded session. It's going to be recorded. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. No
Cool.
problem. Thank you very much, and thank you
Thank you.
guys. Please, we're
Take
sorry for
care.
that today. And, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.